the 6th and 8th.
Hello,
Yeah.
everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to
Hey.
this week's episode of The Patch. This week brought to you by Loot Crate and MeUndies.
I'm wearing those.
I am too. You're
It's because it's easy to wear than when people just bring you underwear all the time.
And I wear it. Apparently, that's my life. Is someone shows up with a pair of underwear, and I go, I'll put that on.
That's good enough.
I'll rub that all
this
over
works for the
everywhere.
Ryan lifestyle. I'm Gus.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Gus.
Oh, wait. Flip. There we go.
You did
Flip
it.
it.
You did
it won't
It's
stay. It never does.
it's
It stayed forever.
It didn't stay
well,
last
some
week.
of the screws on it are coming loose. I think it's had one too many. Oh,
No, that's good.
it just like
It twitched.
it twitched.
It needs
little
a
bit.
firm screw in.
Yeah, it does need to get
It
like
does.
drilled in
It's
a bit
got
hard, maybe.
screws, and it needs to be screwed liberally. Aggressively? Firmly.
Maybe you should
Okay,
ask
all
it.
of those.
Maybe you should ask it what it wants.
I mean, it's not a metaphor for America. It's just a timekeeping piece.
So I think biggest news, video game wise, was of course we finally had a bunch of information dropped on us about Mass Effect Andromeda.
And thank God too. I feel like it's been a really long time coming. They've spent the last couple years re-announcing the game.
Still
And-
really not showing it.
Yeah, and they still haven't shown it. They're gonna save the proper gameplay premiere, I guess, for the Game Awards. The thing is, they did show some gameplay at the PlayStation meeting in September. It was that remember
Right.
that was the like
They were kinda
underground
underground,
cavern gameplay demo that they had that was. It was really hard to tell if it looked pretty or not because it's an underground cavern, so there's a lot of environment that they don't have to render. And there was, if I recall correctly, there wasn't really like UI or anything like that. It was just
No.
sort of like
Very stripped down.
very sandboxy, like they had to have something, but it wasn't a whole lot. So I almost don't feel like that counts properly as gameplay.
It was more of a 4K demonstration, right? Like,
Yeah.
look, it can run at 4K
It's gonna be gorgeous.
in this room.
I want to start off my discussion of this by
Ooh.
bitching.
Okay, let's do it. Gust this up.
I've been wanting to play Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3 on Xbox One backwards compatibility.
Okay.
And they just hadn't flipped a switch.
Oh, what you're bitching
you're-
about is that they could have done this for
That
you
this
before
should
now,
have been done
but they saved
earlier.
it so that they could go and 7 days.
Maybe
Right.
they were testing it. Come on.
Oh, come on.
They weren't testing it. No.
I think they even demoed when they announced backwards compatibility. Mass Effect 2 was one of the games they showed being played in backwards compatibility mode. I feel like they just held on to
Is
it.
this
And
what
they
you
go,
save
no,
it
we
for,
have
though?
nothing to announce at this time.
Right.
This is the moment, like, hey, Andromeda's coming out eventually.
Look,
You can play this now.
BioWare, first of all, BioWare really loves N7 Day. Like, they love that day.
They do.
And second of all, it is kind of good timing because it's going to get a lot of people. Obviously, Mass Effect 1 has been backwards compatible for a while, but let's say the theoretical release date of March 21st is accurate. This gives people just about the right amount of time to play back through the original trilogy and emotionally reattach to the franchise because it's been gone a while now.
But do you really need to reattach? Well, I mean, I guess maybe loosely to the franchise, but you're not reattaching to the characters. They're not going to play really.
No, definitely not the characters, but the world of Mass Effect.
Maybe it's like for people who missed the first games when they initially came out.
yeah.
It's their chance to get up to speed.
Get involved.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's pretty cool. Like
Should have done it sooner.
like you said, it could have been any time, but I can
alright.
understand this timing to some degree.
Did you
'cause-
just throw your 360 away, or
It's not plugged into my TV.
Yeah.
so you still have it in your house? You just
Yeah.
could have moved it like 10 feet. And
It's in storage
HDMI.
somewhere in my attic.
Yeah, I actually don't. I know that I still have a 360. A few of them probably. I literally don't know where they are.
well, you know what? You didn't walk in and throw down some bitching about Mass Effect.
No, but I agree
Hey,
that
it's a pain in the ass.
It is.
could
No,
have
you're
been
not
done a
wrong.
lot sooner. I can see why they held it, but damn, I would have liked to, play it at the first opportunity as opposed to waiting till now.
I mean, the nice thing. This is the new modern. What do you do with all the electronics when it comes to consoles? Though, is they make for great media streaming devices. So my 360 has continued to exist as just another room that now has access to things like Hulu and Netflix and all that kind of stuff. So they have a second life.
They're saying that
As a set-top box.
they're finally fulfilling the dream that Microsoft hoped everyone would get on board with the whole like all-in-one
There you
thing.
go.
Just
Now it's for
Because you
the
don't want it
room
for
we don't
anything
care about
else.
as much. Sure.
Yeah. It's not It's not used every day. It's not part of the A team.
Right. No, it's definitely been relegated to the back ranks.
Yeah, I feel that. I do like some of the details we've got about Andromeda now. I'm feeling like, in spite of the lack of actual gameplay, which at least we will get on December 1st, so that is not that far off. There are some cool details, like I'm interested in it. I think it's a very interesting sidestep they made to avoid the, hullabaloo with the Mass Effect 3 ending and all the, mass relays being destroyed and the entire universe being changed by starting this, like the Andromeda initiative sets off between Mass Effect 2 and 3. So Shepard the Legend, Shepard's like this huge hero figure. We'll probably be hearing a lot of references to Shepard as this, like this hushed tones, kind of this is like the hero of the galaxy.
So yeah, at this point they know that Shepard is alive because it takes place between Mass Effect 2 and 3. Okay.
Right. But hasn't gone through a lot of things. There are some sad things, like we won't see Krogans, almost certainly, because the initiative left before the genophage was cured, or could be cured. So they're out. They're done. They're gone.
I wonder how this... so seeing as that it exists in that point, and I guess it's sort of a spoiler, so the end of Mass Effect 3, you were warned... And I haven't beaten it, but as I understand it, the mass relays get shut down, right? The network is off.
Yes.
So you can't,
as I
FTL
recall,
is done.
As I recall, every ending destroys the mass relays, doesn't it? Yeah.
So you can no longer try. Well, there was some form of FTL that they could do around systems.
But that was all within the Milky Way galaxy.
Right, but they can't do inter-galaxy hops.
Right, which is how this whole thing happened, is this initiative set off, and everyone has been in cryostasis for 600 years.
Well, why?
Why?
They said they wanted to spread human. What I believe I read was they want to spread human culture and make sure it existed elsewhere.
But they can. At that point, they could still go FTL through the mass relays.
But only within their
They
galaxy.
couldn't leave the Milky Way. They're going to the Andromeda galaxy, so they were going to have to travel the long way no matter what.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it was always intended to be a one-way trip, and it's interesting as well. BioWare has confirmed that there's no way to communicate back to the Milky Way. This was a one-way trip, and they are cut off.
Seems like if you were a spacefaring, technology race, you would maybe try and figure out that mass relay stuff before you did something like this.
But maybe they have to.
They got to get there to build it.
Well, yeah, but they don't know how to build one once they get there.
Well, but maybe not even mass relays, but at the very least communication. So they
Wait a minute, didn't they have quantum communication in Mass Effect 2? Wasn't that a thing?
They definitely had
but they might have to
real time.
build it or set it up or something at the other end.
It might go through the relays too.
No one wants to be awake for the whole 600 years.
Though I guess in system it would still be FTL.
Yeah, even if they're asleep, you think you could beam messages to it that they could get when they wake up.
Like 600 years of spam.
Yeah. Get your new Super Viagra.
Wow, this coupon expired in... oh, wait, I don't know the dates. Sorry.
It's interesting. They did also tease that they can't communicate back in this game. So that doesn't rule it out entirely for future games. It might just be that when they arrive, either there's something that they have to set up, that they have to build, that BioWare doesn't want to talk about yet, that's going to take some time, or they have to come up with a way to communicate back, or it never eventuates, and this is now its own, for all intents and purposes, pocket universe.
Here's a hugely dated reference, but it'll be like Mass Effect Earth 2.
Yeah.
Anybody remember that show?
What?
Earth 2.
Oh, vaguely.
Yeah.
Did I have dinosaurs?
No, you're thinking Terra Nova, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, God,
I'm totally thinking
wasn't
Terra
that
Nova.
the show that got canceled in its first season because it was so bad?
No, it was doing great.
Was it?
Yeah,
I thought
it's
it was
just
doing terribly because I know they did cancel it first season. I thought it started strong and then everyone just went meh and tuned out.
It was doing pretty well. The problem was it was ridiculously expensive to make.
I can believe that. I really can.
Also, I think that one was going back in time.
It was. They were going. It was a one-way trip.
Right.
Back to the Jurassic era, but did they figure out for sure that it was definitely the same, dimension or same time?
It seems like it couldn't
continuum?
possibly be because. Well, I don't know.
They couldn't
the details
make
are
plans ahead of
fuzzy at
time
this
to
point.
bury something that someone in the far future knew to dig up in a certain place.
Does seem like it'd be very easy to mess up everything if that was the case.
I looked. Mass Effect did have quantum entanglement communications,
Okay.
There you go.
which allowed for communication over any distance. However,
So,
if the comm center at Arcturus was destroyed, it would collapse the entire network.
and was it?
All right.
I assume so.
That makes sense, actually.
It would be easiest if that's the case, or so maybe the Andromeda Initiative has that equipment, but they'd have to rebuild everything.
Well, the problem is with quantum.
In the Milky Way.
Well, the problem with quantum
it's like
entanglement
once
is you'd
it's-
have to
Oh, yeah, done,
entangle
it's
two
down.
particles. Yeah.
Shit.
If they took a particle with them that was entangled and it's not anymore.
Okay,
So
so here maybe
Oops.
the
Oops.
Milky Way rebuilt it and they like sent a little pod that's just like a couple years behind, and it's gonna show up after the events of Andromeda
you
and be
go.
like, "Hey friends,
It's cool.
Here's I got your radio."
I hope it lands on like their best scientist. He's like, oh man, almost got it.
So we'll see about that. But
Then the sequel will
for
be
now,
taking physics courses and communications courses to learn to pass a test to build a quantum entanglement computer.
You know
or
what I find
communicator.
really interesting is the Reapers.
Mm-hmm.
They're not a thing in the Andromeda Galaxy. They were only a Milky Way galaxy threat. So, if I recall
were
my
they?
lore about the Reapers, well, that's what I think
they-
BioWare has said.
They
so
accompany the relays, right? They're part and
so
parcel of that.
They kind of
they built the
made
relays,
the
didn't
relays,
they?
yeah.
So, and the lore of the Reapers, if I recall correctly, is they harvest any species that becomes sufficiently advanced. But if that hasn't been happening outside the Milky Way, if they haven't been harvesting species and having them just like start over, you could have crazy advanced species because they've had hundreds of thousands of years.
They haven't
where
been
they-
reset.
Yeah,
Right.
they haven't all got like turned into giant pulpy
Mush.
mush.
Someone on I'm trying to verify this. Who is this on Twitter? Crystal _light is saying that Krogans are in Andromeda, that they were seen in trailer footage and linked in a survey posted
Really?
to Reddit. So I'm trying to find footage.
There's some mention of like 4 species going
Yeah,
along
so
for the
let
ride, right?
me look. The ones that I think people have seen is we know about the Asari,
Which are the
and
blue aliens with the swept back tentacle heads.
They're much
Yeah.
more than that. But if you want to
and
describe them that
telepathic,
way, okay.
right? Or like empathic.
Yeah,
Crazy good time in bed.
right. They
seems
like
what
to
I
get all
read.
freaky. So let's see. Yeah, Asari. Oh goddamn it, where is
And
it?
then there's the crazy-
Turian,
yeah.
Solarian. Yeah, human, Turian, Solarian, Asari. Because there are 5 ships in the initiative. 4 of them are arcs.
So the Turians are, if I remember, the kind of warrior race, right?
Yeah, like Garrus.
Right. And then the Solarians are the kind of nerdy scientist race.
Yes.
Yeah, they're the Mordans. Right?
They don't live very long though, right? They have very short lifespans.
I think that's why they're like accelerated. Like
Right.
he speaks quickly and they're always like
Yeah.
moving quickly.
They're highly caffeinated.
Right.
So those are the ones that I think, and a lot of this is still I pieced together either
Yeah.
from trailer footage or teasers or things like that. So a lot of it, more of it will become clear, I guess, as we get closer to launch. But the idea being, at the moment, that those are the 4 races in the arcs, in the initiative that are headed there. So those are going to be the familiar species. No characters, like no squad mates from the original trilogy will be present in any way. And they have confirmed at least one new alien race, and that's the Get.
The Get. Not, what's weird, because we already have a game with the, Get.
Yeah, except that
And then there's
they're-
another game with the Gek.
Yeah. Except that the Geth are gone now anyway. So
Why can't we just call them something else, like the Todd or the anything? Why is it
Dude,
everybody got
are
to be
you
the
sure?
Gek, the Geth,
Are you
the
sure you want
God?
an entire species called the Todd?
Yes, the Todds.
They're all named Todd.
Yeah. Todd
their
1
leader is
through
Todd
a
with 2
million.
Ds.
Yeah.
But I'm interested. Also, this isn't the start of a trilogy anymore.
No.
So this isn't kicking off a new trilogy, and it makes me wonder if they're gonna shift more into say like a Dragon Age model,
Where they like
of
build the
storytelling.
universe and then just like tell different stories within that universe.
Yeah, so this might be, you take Scott and Sarah Ryder, whoever you choose to be, and this would be their story, and then the next Mass Effect game would be another story potentially also in the Andromeda universe because it would save them having to build yet another galaxy.
Yeah. I guess we'll see how it does. They're just dipping their toes into Andromeda, seeing how people react. It's hard these days not to leave a game off. I mean, it seems like most times you tell a story in a game, they leave it in a place where it's like, and then buy the next one. It's hard for them to have a nice, satisfying, close it.
Encapsulate story.
Which is why it's always nice when you get something like The Witcher that does come to a definite conclusion. Like, this story is told and it's done now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same, honestly, with a lot of TV series. It actually takes a lot of courage to end something, especially if it's something successful.
Yeah.
To say, like, this story's done. We've told what we wanted to tell, and anything else would just be jumping the shark, cashing in.
Here, let me read this thing here. I want to remind everyone this episode of The Patch is brought to you by Loot Crate. On a quest for epic gear, housewares, and collectibles, Loot Crate offers an epic range of pop culture items for less than $20 a month. If you're more of a fanatical fashionista than Loot Wear, their monthly wearables and accessory subscription will fill your closet with cult classics and your favorite franchises. And if you want to get fancy, get a bigger box with even bigger loot with Loot Crate DX. Ready your wands, pre-measure your potions, and get ready for November's enchanting theme, Magical. We've cast a powerful ancient spell to deliver you this 100% exclusive crate featuring bewitching items from Doctor Strange, Fantastic Beasts, and Where to Find Them, and Big Trouble in Little China, and more. You have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate. And when the cutoff happens, that's it. It's over. Make sure to head to lootcrate.com/patch. Enter code PATCH to save $3 off any new subscription today. Thank you, Loot Crate, for sponsoring this episode of The Patch. So, something else that came out about Andromeda I thought was really funny was, they announced the cast, and when they announced the voice of Scott Ryder, they wrote, also known as Octodad from Octodad. It's like, oh, okay,
It's like, oh, yes, Octodad, of course.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. Like, I don't even know why they credited it.
Wait, so you're
also
saying,
known as.
you're saying our edition pieces didn't make it in? We didn't.
Yeah, well,
I didn't think about it.
As you recall, we did forget to ever submit them.
Oh,
right. That was an important part of it.
Yeah, so we did our dramatic readings, and then we forgot to do anything with them. So unless someone from BioWare, who is also in charge of all their voice casting, was listening to that episode of The Patch, I think we may be SOL.
Yeah, so spoiler alert, we're SOL.
Probably not.
We forgot the most important step, which was actually submitting.
It's like turning in your homework. So I find it interesting that in this one you choose...
the Ket.
Oh, Ket, sorry.
Yay, a new letter.
Right, Ket.
K-E-T-T.
With a K.
Ket. Those are great friends to the Todd.
They're hanging out.
Yeah.
But you choose a sibling. The other sibling is out in the world and theoretically then has a part to play.
Yeah. They're twins, right?
Yeah, they're twins. So it's like, is that...
They're quantum entangled.
Send one back. They just ship one back. That's it. 600 years later.
Yeah.
Is it good? Like, do you like that? Do you like that your sibling is out there somewhere?
Do you like coming face to face with them over and over like, you could have been me.
Yeah.
You could have been the hero of the story.
Because the as far as I understand, the premise of the thing is that your dad, Alec Ryder, he's the pathfinder or the leader of the human arc. And so he's supposed to be the leader, but something happens, not sure what, and he can't do it. So you take over. So then, yeah, your siblings out there just being like, God damn it, I could have been the leader, and instead I'm I don't know, shoveling cat poo.
I'm going to assume that it's going to do one of those things where it's like, all right, we need, our dad was such an incredible person. It takes two of us to fill his role. All right, you're the ground team. I'll stay here and take care of the base.
Right.
And that'll be how it works.
They become your, like, assistant?
One becomes the field commander and one becomes the base commander.
Okay.
Because equally important, someone's got to mind the fort while someone's out there exploring the world.
Right. No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there
could
you go.
actually see that. It's weird that they make it sound like they're out there somewhere else. Like they, like leave and go off and do their own
Maybe
thing.
they've got their own squad,
Hey.
and you run into each other.
There you go.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them's running the Black Ops.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how they handle that sort of like decision because it's something they've brought up multiple times and reiterated. It's like and you just want to be like, this isn't going to be like a Molyneux thing, right? Like, do you understand the importance of touch?
Here's the real question.
Yeah. What's the real question, right?
I mean, since they're not setting up as a trilogy, right? What are the odds that the non-picked sibling survives this game?
Oh, do they sacrifice themselves gallantly, perhaps?
Oh, yeah.
No, they've got to survive.
Why?
Because I feel like,
Nah, they gotta die.
Mass Effect loves to kill people.
yeah.
Someone's
you're
gonna
right.
like die. Although at least this time it's not necessarily like, what's your backstory? Oh, my parents died in this terrible thing. You'll actually get to probably see them die on screen.
There you go.
It'll be much more personal and visceral. Like really.
It's like a Pixar movie.
Yeah. Oh. Oh.
They'll make you really sad about it. So I'm looking at your squad mates' names here. You've got Liam. Who's a human, ex-cop.
N7.
And
he's 7 years old?
No, he's an N7.
Oh, N7. Gotcha. Wait, he's what? What does that mean?
So N7 was the human elite forces. Shepard was N7. So whenever you see all the merchandise for Mass Effect, it's always N7.
So it's just
like
special
the N7
forces.
armor and everything. It's human elite forces.
You know, I don't know how I never picked that up in any of those games. I always just assumed that was just his code
I
sign.
think I think they just set it up and talk about it very briefly at the beginning
Yeah.
of the first game when he's going to become a Spectre.
Gotcha.
They're like, oh,
because after then he was a Spectre. He
right.
Just, he kept
Like,
the
you've done so
N7
well with
designation.
N7. Now you're going to go do this.
All right.
I think that was it.
He just
If I
loved the
recall.
logo after that. Never decided to adopt the Spectre one.
And
Weirdo.
another squad mate you have is your Asari, or not your Asari. You have an Asari squad mate,
Wait a minute. So basically,
and that's
Shepard.
the one that we've seen already in the in the teasers.
and her name is PB.
Well, that's
PB.
a nickname though.
That'd be no nickname of mine.
I think BioWare did clarify that that's a nickname and that they haven't like her full name is unknown.
Her full name is Pebedius.
Yes. The most romantic and sexy of names, Pebedius.
PB. I'm trying to look this up, and of course our internet's not working because we
Uh-oh.
only work
It's not
at
great
a
right
What are
now.
we looking up?
So
I'm trying to see if any more information about her name. Okay, there
Okay.
it is. It just loaded. Must be really anybody?
Pebedius
PB is
Maximus.
PB. Yep, sorry. Gotten carried away there. Romance options. Here we go.
Yep. Are we doing romance again? Is that a thing?
Of course is a thing.
All
And I think
right.
they also confirmed that you'll be able to bang pretty much anything. That you're
Anything?
Sure, why not?
If that wall terminal gives you the right wink.
I think, well, specifically, I think they said that your choices aren't restricted based on gender. So maybe we've advanced to a point in the universe where it's basically like Captain Jack Harkness in Doctor Who, where it's like if you're breathing, let's go.
But it wasn't really restricted by gender previously, was it?
No, well,
You had an
some
option.
there are, I actually liked the way it was set up. There were some characters that were straight. There were some that were bi. There were some that were gay, and it was like those characters, and that was their thing. So you could romance them or not romance them based on
Their orientation.
Yeah, on their orientation. So it is almost a little bit weird if they're saying that all of the options are open to you. They'll just, because it almost becomes like a like power fantasy at that point. Like you can choose of all these things, and they will all like you regardless.
Let me ask you about
I
that.
actually liked some things being locked out.
Yeah.
Because I
because
feel
it
like
made it feel
that builds their character.
exactly. I like the characters having their own alignments.
Would you feel like it would maybe work better if at the beginning of the game you could specify kind of a general interest direction? Because if it's really just full freeform, sometimes that becomes intrusive where it's like, I just want to be this guy's friend or this girl's friend. I don't want to have those options constantly popping up like, I'm not going to be interested in you, or maybe I personally don't want to be interested in a specific gender for this playthrough. I don't want to constantly be bombarded with the, hey, but you could get the sexy time thing going. Here it is. Here's that sexy
I feel
time
like
option.
When you shut that down in the previous games, like I don't feel like it ever came back repeatedly.
No, I accidentally, and I ended up doing a completely new playthrough on this because I accidentally friend-zoned Garrus. I was trying not to come on too strong, and instead I just friend-zoned him. and I had to do a completely new playthrough to get back to that point. And I was so mad because I think if you friend zone him in the second game, there's no option in the third game. So I was like, this is gonna haunt me. I can't do it. And so I went back, and I think it was my Renegade playthrough. I was like, and he was like,
Garrus went for the Renegade?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay.
Because that was kind of a badass.
I don't remember the save system of Mass Effect, but it was just like you couldn't have multiple save slots, right? Like it was just one save.
I don't recall. It might just be that I had saved past that point and didn't realize the damage that I'd done, and it would have, I may not have had a previous save that was less than hours away, So it's fine. I needed to do a Renegade playthrough anyway. It was just kind of annoying. I don't actually even remember who I ended up hooking up with in disappointment.
Who got the pity sex?
I normally play Paragon, but I do enjoy doing a Renegade run in those games and just not giving a fuck.
I find it really difficult to do a Renegade run. Even doing that, I was like forcing myself to do those Renegade options, and every time I was like, "Oh, I'm a bad person." But they did say that they're doing away with Renegade and Paragon in Andromeda.
What?
It's not just going to be red and blue. They said there's going to be multiple dialogue options with different tones, but that it's not, this is your Paragon option, this is your Renegade option.
Well, things have gotten so extremist. It's like, oh, let's save everybody and give them all a puppy, or let's burn them all from the foot up and just make sure we watch them suffer. I mean, why can't we have a nice...
Why can't we burn puppies from the paws up?
Right. Thank you. That's all I ask.
Here, did anyone not punch the reporter?
I don't remember.
I believe in one of my playthroughs I did not.
I loved that I think there were like 2 or 3 different options to deck that lady, and by I think the third one, she dodged. Like she knew what you were gonna do, and she dodges and is like, nah, fuck you. I decked her a lot. She was not a nice lady.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's one of my favorite series. I really enjoyed Mass Effect 2, and I had a lot of fun with 3. I was not terribly disappointed with the ending because it was kind of where I was playing towards anyway. But when I played it again and I saw the other side, I could understand why people were upset with it.
Yeah, when I played Mass Effect 3, it was it was a very personal thing. The way I interpreted it at the time was, for me, that entire last section where you have that opportunity to like see your companions that you've had, you can see like who's lived and who's died. I could be like, hey Rex, buddy, you made it. It was a close thing sometimes, but you made it and you're here. And because you're here, Morden's not. And for me, that was a lot of the closure, is like seeing like those people as the I guess like the manifestation of a lot of the decisions that I'd made throughout. And so when I got to the pick your portal ending, and then it's like, who gets out of the ship? For me, that was almost denouement. And that was like it had closed the loop, and then this was a new start. And it was just like, what are the conditions of the new start for the galaxy? So I didn't take it personally, I guess, that it felt a little simplified. But after hearing people who felt like after having this complex web of options and having this say and feeling like all of those myriad choices were going to lead up to something really epic, and then that's what it
just
came
dilutes to 2.
I can see why a lot of people felt let down by that. And so I can definitely understand why we're wanting to sidestep that, and I'll be very curious to see how they handle it with Andromeda. They seem to have been pretty careful not to overpromise on this one.
Yeah, in fact, they're not really showing anything.
They're not promising shit.
It might be
you'll be in
4K.
space and you'll explore some things. Have fun.
And there was a giant robot thing, which
I
looked
joked,
cool.
I
You can have
joked
sex with
earlier that
things.
since the gameplay thing they showed had no HUD, and they really haven't shown any gameplay, that they could surprise us all and just have it be an RTS. Or it's like something totally off the wall, like you're not expecting at all.
I still
play
think
that.
that someone should build a sort of prequel fan game of some kind and just call it Andromeda Trail. It's just like Oregon Trail, but all the way, across 600 years.
Not every one of those cryopods made it. Every now and again, they had to stop to hunt for food. Maybe a couple of them fell off.
Ryan has fallen ill.
How do you get dysentery in a pod?
Well, bad food tube got connected to the waste tube, and
Maybe the fruit gets spoiled and everyone gets scurvy for 600 years.
Or they're drunk for 600 years?
They're
Off of
all
rotten fruit juice?
whoa.
they're all living on potatoes because of explosions.
Well, in other news of unusual plot development to inspire emotions, have either of you played the Call of Duty campaign?
I have
Infinite
not.
Warfare?
I have not, no.
Tell me what you think.
So I beat it last night. It's a fun game. I will say the campaign is enjoyable. They play with a lot of different things. It's the space stuff is not overwhelming. It's a pretty quick game, but they absolutely do that. I don't know what it is about Call of Duty it's like, yeah, you'll feel something. Here, feel it now. You hold down that thing. That's you feeling something. Feel it. Come on. The enemy is just the worst.
Oh, the Jon
Harringtons.
Snow.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the worst.
It says, according to how long to beat, main story, 6.5 hours.
Yeah. And I did on Veteran on the first run through, and it's not a bad Veteran. Now there's like 2 skill levels above Veteran, so it's very doable on Veteran, which is the highest that is unlocked at start.
Yeah, the main criticism of the antagonist in Call of Duty is very much that it's one-dimensional.
It makes no sense that he does anything.
Just like, I'm angry.
Yeah.
We're all angry, and now we're space Nazis for reasons.
I mean, it's just they're bad guys.
And
That's all you need.
He's
but
a bad
also,
guy.
he only turns up a couple of times. Contributes very little of value, and then fucks off, and they're like, go get in the spaceship.
And by the time you finally catch him, it's like kind of an anticlimax when you actually anticlimactic when you catch up to him, and it's not like the end of the game. So there's more good chunk of mission after you catch up to him. You still got a mission to complete, and his final monologue is actually so slow that spoiler. I mean, come on, you kill the bad guy in the end.
You what?
And there's an achievement for killing him before his monologue is finished, and I did it by accident. Because he was like, You don't win by killing me.
And then you thought, yes, I do.
This isn't the end.
Oh.
And just kept going. I was like, and I was like, I guess what am I? Because the dramatic pause was so long. I was like, am I supposed to do something? I just tapped X and I stabbed him in the brain.
I'm not dead yet. I think I'll go for a walk.
He had so much more to say, and I never got to hear it because he took too long of a damn pause.
You should make a video out of that where you have his entire speech and you cut out the pauses. That way people can watch
would
it
be
and
great.
get through it much more quickly.
And I imagine a lot of people like me got that achievement by accident, just because they assumed that he was done.
Yeah, that he was stuck on a loop, just saying random gibberish stuff.
Well, I mean, he seemed like it was no more information content than anything else he'd showed up to deliver. So yeah, he just every now and again would show up and say you suck, you're bad, your way of life is awful, destroy it all, burn it. All right, bye, peace.
Now, what did you think of the jackal sections?
They're okay. Yeah.
How's the control?
Yeah, it's all right. Wasn't great. I mean. The weird thing about it is, so you spend a lot of time, obviously shooting other fighter jets. But once you get behind them and lock on, which you lock on by holding the left trigger if you got them in the thing, then your ship kind of goes out of your control to some degree. It's like you go into sort of an auto pursuit mode where it will do a lot of the work following them, I guess presumably so that you can work on aiming and shooting. But yeah, it's just, it doesn't really give me feels like going back to old Wing Commander or Descent Free Space days. It's like, okay, it's sort of a flight sim. It had sort of that feel of Descent Free Space too, when you could have these capital ship battles, but it really kind of dumbed down version of it.
One of the other, I think, I'm just trying to recall the common sentiments across a lot of the reviews. It was praised for moving seamlessly between on-the-ground action, then you get in the Jackal, and now you're fighting in space and back in it, and that all the missions being a hub in the ship made it feel a lot more seamless.
There's some of the space combat. I mean, it's pretty. That was another very unusual choice. Using the ship as the hub. They really made no effort to make this seem even remotely plausible in a military standpoint or just a human capacity standpoint, because the entire plot takes place in a single day.
Yeah, that
really?
seems like it'd be
Yes.
a tad rushed.
Second episode of 24.
It's I had that thought too. It's like they were going for that, but I mean, there's like 20 something missions or something. He's jaunting all over the space, the solar system, completing these missions. It's like he couldn't physically operate after having done one of those.
But he can because he must.
It's kind of what they go for, but it's like, why did you write it this way? There must have been a way to write out of this idea of just like, it's got to be today, all one day. And if you're going to do the 24 thing, then at least make it the 24 thing where it has that kind of like you feel the
There's
time
a clock
passing.
running,
Yeah.
right? There's like a
But they
time
don't do
crunch.
that. So it's just, you keep coming back to the ship and you've done like 6 missions, or maybe sometimes you play that in like a couple sittings and you're like, he's still got that smudge of dirt on his face. Oh, it's still the same day. He's not taking a shower. He's not eating any food. Dude hasn't sat down except in a cockpit.
That's because justice never sleeps.
That would be an
I guess, but come on, I do.
That would be an interesting mode or a mechanic to add to a kind of game like this when, in the game it's supposed to be time sensitive, is you have to, like, they reintroduce a timer to video games where you have to complete sections or levels within a certain amount of time. Otherwise, it takes too long and
Almost kind of
fail
like Dead Rising.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they said, correct, I might be wrong about this, but I thought they were removing the clock from Dead Rising 4.
Really?
Shit, but I think it was in the demo I played at E3.
It
I'll
seemed
look
like it
that
was
up.
reduced somewhat in 3.
Dead
It wasn't as draconian as 1.
Yeah,
and
1
2.
was brutal with
One
that
was
clock.
brutal.
Yeah, Dead Rising 4 is dropping the timer system.
Interesting. Well, I mean, that's kind of nice too, because that's the one thing that I would like occasionally from Dead Rising is more free time.
Yeah, because there was always a lot to see, especially with the zany crafting system that they
Yeah.
ended up with. Like it gives you more time to explore that kind of thing, and everything else in the world. So yeah, who is this? I'm reading an article here on Games Radar, and they were talking to executive producer Bryce Cochran, and said, yeah, so they want people to have fun and not worry about a timer. If you want to kill zombies, you can. If you want to follow the campaign, you can do that as well.
All right,
Interesting.
I need to make a correction.
Ooh.
I lied to you guys earlier when I said that your Mass Effect Andromeda squad mate Liam, who's a human, is N7. He's not. Your dad was.
Oh. Liam's like an N4.
He's let's see, yeah, he's like 6 maybe,
Oh,
whatever.
wait, we're G's, right?
No, sorry. So your squad mate is he's human. He's an ex-cop and he's on the Pathfinder squad. But Alec Ryder was an N7.
Okay, so he knew maybe Shepard, maybe.
Yeah.
We don't
So
really know.
they may have been drinking buddies. Who knows?
Oh, what if he's like pissed off at Shepard? Like Shepard got to be the Spectre. I could have been.
Got
the
all the
Spectre.
glory.
Yeah.
That's my. You ever met my twin, Shepard?
Yeah, let me read this other thing here.
So sorry about that.
Want to remind everyone, this episode of The Patch is also brought to you by MeUndies. Picture a world where putting on a new pair of underwear isn't just fresh, you're stepping into a better day. Think about it. Underwear is the first thing you put on and the last thing you take off. Why would you settle for anything less than the best feeling underwear on the planet? It's very true. Our friends at MeUndies sent us a few pairs a while back. Now, I can't imagine wearing anything else. It really makes each day that much better. For the price of 2 cocktails, MeUndies will deliver your new favorite pair of underwear right to your door. Better day guaranteed. And for a limited time, everyone in our audience gets 20% off their first order. But you got to go to this URL. Go to MeUndies.com/thepatch. With the MeUndies Better Day Guarantee, you've got nothing to lose. So don't wait any longer. Go to MeUndies.com/thepatch right now for 20% off your first order. That's MeUndies.com/thepatch. It's the only underwear that I wear anymore. I'm wearing my Coastal pair today.
Wait, which
Wait,
was
what's
the
coastal? Is that you just mean like the pattern on it is coastal?
That's what they call them. It's like it's like
I don't know
California
the names of them.
coastal colors.
Oh,
I
okay.
guess like kind of
The Pastelli thing?
yeah. That.
I'm wearing those too.
You guys have matching undies today?
Oh wait, no, not those.
Oh, okay.
These.
No, you got
Oh, I
like
don't have
the,
those.
Yeah, I have those ones though.
These, yeah.
where it's just like almost like a pool pattern.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
water ripples.
Yeah, I forget what those are called.
Yeah, underwear is fun. They're super comfy though. I dig them.
Love them. Yeah, so there's so much going on with Mass Effect Andromeda, but there are other things to talk about as well. I felt like this was, of course, BlizzCon happened. There was so much news that came out of BlizzCon. Finally, Sombra is confirmed for...
I feel like a lot of it,
What?
like after Like
For
after
Overwatch?
all of the other stuff that's happened, a lot of the news felt like kind of a step down. Like it was just like, oh yeah, she's confirmed. Like everyone knew it because they she leaked multiple times. This ARG had gone on for months and no one was enjoying it.
I forget who it was at Blizzard, but so I'll have to look up and find my source. But someone at Blizzard said, "Yeah, we're just not good at ARGs."
Yeah, which is very true. But then
What
there
if
have been
that's the start of an ARG?
the various screenshots and everything that had been posted. Like people knew that this was just a matter of time, and it's a little bit like waiting for N7 Day to make Mass Effect backwards compatible, to flip the switch. It's like that was all they were ever counting down to anyway. The ARG was never going to get you anything earlier.
So it was the Overwatch lead hero designer, Jeff Goodman. He helped organize the ARG, and then his quote in this interview was, "We were definitely taking the feedback. I think it was fair, the feedback. We're not very good at ARGs. We've never done one before." So I think they're going to try to figure out how to refine it and maybe do it a little better.
Yeah, honestly, ARGs are tough to do properly. I think it's very difficult to weight the difficulty, the challenge of the ARG and how to solve it, and how how touchy are the clues and where do you leave them and how long is it going to take people to solve them, because you never know if enough people are going to get it or participate, or if not enough people participate and there's not enough of that sort of group work, then maybe it doesn't get solved, and then you have to take extra steps to help them out.
Yeah,
or on the flip side, everyone gets super, super into it way more than you predicted. They solve it immediately, and now you're fucked.
Right. It's a delicate balance trying to navigate all of that.
And I don't think that most ARGs don't get it right. I think ones like I Love Bees are the exception, not the rule.
Yeah, and I thought, and a lot of ARGs are really, I feel like they're really difficult to the point where they frustrate me.
Yeah, I'll follow them, but I don't really participate in them.
Yeah, it seems like one of those things where it's easy to go, someone will figure it out. I'll just watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's way easier to just ride that and let the population that is working on it figure it out.
Yeah. That's the new
Lazy.
Overwatch modes. I was talking to Adam a little bit earlier, and he loves the new modes, the 1v1, the 3v3. He thinks they're really well. They're much more hardcore approach to the game, and someone like Adam who really is just a glutton for punishment in games, as evidenced by his Dark Souls addiction. He really likes that challenge, and so he really enjoys those modes. So it's an interesting way they've stepped it up.
I think that it seems to me like this is Lucio Ball might have been a starting off point or a bouncing off point for this kind of play, because that was 3v3, obviously in a very specialized arena, very specialized game type. But I think maybe that's kind of what started it up. It started people's desire to play, maybe slightly different team ranked games. Yeah,
to see if that size of group might be feasible.
I do like that they're kind of rotating them out. Like those game types, they work pretty well, I think, is generally what you can say about them. Lucio Ball worked pretty well. It wasn't Rocket League, but it felt pretty fun as a limited time event. Same with the Horde mode, the Halloween Horde mode. It was very limited in scope. There was only a set number of waves, and there was not really a lot of variation to it. So it was a fun one-time thing, but I'm glad they retire those instead of keeping them around. Well,
it does keep them, they go out on a high note.
Yeah.
As opposed to before everyone gets tired and abandons them.
Yeah.
So it sort of keeps that anticipation high for them coming back at some point in the future because they haven't run their course yet.
Plus, also, it's great how they incentivize it with the rewards specific to that game type that you can only get from doing that. I mean, I think, of course, Blizzard knows what they're doing when it comes to making a game and making people want to play a game. They've been doing it for decades now. And they're bringing Diablo 1
to Diablo
3.
The
Diablo 3 engine.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, that's cool because it'll be nice to play through that original Diablo experience, but with updated graphics and everything because, admittedly, it's the sort of thing that gets dated. You go back and try and play it and you go, ooh.
It was 20 years ago.
It was a long time.
20 years ago.
I remember playing the original, and at the time I thought it looked amazing.
Yeah.
But now it's painful. So it is
rough.
cool on that note. On the other hand, Going back to things feeling a little anticlimactic, just wanted it to be Diablo 4.
Well, give them time. They'll get there.
I know they will.
I remember when Diablo 1 came out, I was in college, and we had, there was a thing where high school students could come and visit for the weekend and, see the college and stuff. And we had this high school student come visit us and stay with us for the weekend. And he was so excited because he left his computer downloading the Diablo demo all weekend. And it would be finished just in time for him to come back, right? I think it was 140 megabytes or something. He was downloading it over his dial-up connection.
And his mom couldn't use the phone for the whole weekend.
And we were like, oh,
but
yeah.
Do you remember, I used to have a dedicated second phone line for internet.
I did not. I got in a lot of trouble.
We didn't for a long time, and then eventually we got one. And then I was like, I want it all the time. Oh, yeah. EverQuest, how you doing?
Yeah, we were lucky because, since I was in college, we had, high-speed internet. We had Ethernet in the dorm. I was like, oh, yeah, you want to download it right now? Here, we'll download it in, 5 minutes.
High speed.
Right.
Oh, we didn't. We had dial-up at Georgia Southern. We had a campus dial-up, and there was only 500 slots.
Oh, you get busy signals all the time?
Yep. So we would dial in and just keep it active. We actually set up a small...
You'd make the problem worse.
No, not for us. It was great for us because my roommate and I just had a LAN set up, and we shared the connection. We had internet all the time. No problem.
How fast was it? 28.8?
Probably.
Oh,
No, it was probably 56 by that
56?
point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's they were dark times. I'm glad we have
dark times.
much faster internet now.
I would go down the hall with my zip disks
Oh God!
and use the internet at the computer lab at high speed.
We so for the No, we have these various sound effects we use on the intro, and one of them is a dial-up sound effect. And I've never felt older than the other day. Someone referred to that specific intro sound effect as, oh God, what was it like? They're the grinding noise. Just it was like they had no idea what that noise was.
Well, it's still around sort of as a fax machine. Fax machines kind of exist.
Yeah, how many people are using fax machines? No one uses them unless they absolutely have to. And no one, even if they have to, knows how to use them. Those things are opaque.
I think...
What, you know how to use them?
Yeah.
I wonder if I still have a computer somewhere in my house with a modem in it. I bet I don't. I've got a couple iterations of laptops.
Yeah, I can't think of the last modem I owned. The last modem I owned was a US Robotics 56K modem. That would have been 98, 99. I think is when I finally got a cable modem here in Austin. That's when I ditched my dial-up. Yeah.
Even then was probably still only less than a meg connection. I would imagine 200K, 300K.
What, my cable modem?
Yeah.
No, when cable modems launched in Austin, they were 6 megabit.
Shit, really? Wow.
I think I had dial-up until well into 2001, 2002. There were no options, where I grew up that were any faster than that.
Yeah, I felt like we were really lucky because, I felt like Austin got cable modems very quickly. Like it was one of the first cities to really have them.
It's crazy when you actually think about just the time since that point. I mean, now we're like, oh God, it was so long ago, but it's not that long ago in terms of technology of the world.
Yeah.
And it's changed so much just in that period of time. It's crazy.
They first were rolling out high-speed internet here in Austin,
I feel like we've reached the grumpy old person back in my day part of the patch.
If you wanted to get a cable modem, you could sign up for it. You had to sign up because it was like a beta rollout. And then you had to go, if they approved you had to go to their office to take a class.
What?
On networking. So they would teach you what the cable modem did, what a router did, how to, network your computers and how to have it all set up and shared and, what IP addresses were. And it was internet, networking 101, very basic stuff, but you had to go and sit there. But I knew all that stuff. So it was how long was it? I think it was a 4-hour class. It's 4 hours of, oh my God, just give me my fucking cable modem.
That's a punishment right there.
Yeah, think about that. If you signed up for internet access and you have to go to your fucking provider and they have to teach you shit.
Now they just come install it for you.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing. Yeah, you have to set it up yourself.
Oh, really? I assume they at least would wire your house.
Right. I mean, that much they would handle, but you would have to set it up.
Go far enough back, and there's certain points where there was much more trouble in having to manually assign IP addresses and God, everything's easy now. You just decide, you turn it on, and it's like, oh yeah, I know what I am. Here, you're that.
So while we're scratching our sort of retro feeling itch, have either of you guys played any Owlboy?
I have not. You were talking to me about this the other day, and I haven't played it yet.
Yes, it's because I'm very excited about it. I feel like everyone should play it. So Owlboy is a game that it came out on the 1st of November. And
Also known as November.
for some. Some of us know it as November. And it's high-bit pixel graphics. So they're acknowledging it's not 8-bit. It's not. This would never have been on your NES or your SNES. It's pixel art, but it's very like high definition pixel art. Metroidvania kind of game where you're an owlboy. You're a owlboy with an owl cape, and so you can fly.
Wait, so you're a boy dressed as an owl, or some kind of human owl hybrid?
I think you might be human owl hybrid because you definitely don't look like the other owls in town. So this is the game to give you an idea of what I mean by the high bit pixel art. So it's got that sort of like retro feel while also looking gorgeous. And I have to tell you, the animations in it are stunning. It's not one of the things that you notice first because it just seems like, hey, all these graphics are really great, but actually the animations are great. You're the owlboy.
Okay.
And you can fly. And then you have friends, and you can pick up your friends and carry them, and then they're your shooter, essentially.
Do you control them, or do they just kind of auto shoot?
You control them. You control
Shoot.
them. So you fly around with one stick, and you aim with the other stick and
like
shoot.
it comes like a 2-stick shooter.
Yeah, kind of. So you
So you're carrying your friends while they shoot? What is this, like
Yes.
every mobile game in the world?
hey. So you go through these various dungeons, and there are puzzles to solve. It's honestly, if you're in it for the challenge of retro games, I don't know that it offers that per se. It's not super difficult. I mean, once you've had a couple glasses of wine, it gets a little bit harder. But
You got to provide your own challenge.
right
At the
right.
bottom of a bottle.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. But it is like this really lovely, fun experience, and I always felt quite clever for solving the puzzles. I mean, admittedly, I like to pat myself on the back at every opportunity. So, it's not necessarily that much. It's not difficult, but it is a really fun game. I've been enjoying it a lot, and it's cool to be able to like swap out the person that you're carrying for various tasks.
How does that work? Do you have like a backpack full of little people that you can deploy in capsules? Or?
No, you get a relic early on that will like teleport them to you.
Gotcha.
Like into your claws, and so then you can just like drop one and then like teleport another one.
Okay.
Well, not
at least
drop them, but
so it's convenient. You don't have to like go back to base and then.
yeah, you can pretty much swap them immediately.
So I saw that it's been in development for 9 years.
9 years. They
That's
started in
crazy.
2007. It's a really small team. I want to say something like 5 people, and they've just gradually been working on it. So this is very much a passion project, and that you can tell when a game is just made with a lot of love. I felt the same thing. I think that's one of the things that attracted me to Stardew Valley was it felt like this labor of love, and like this is like they made this experience that they really wanted to make, and this is it. And so I don't know, that really resonates with me. And it's right now it's only on Steam, but I'd be very surprised if it doesn't come to console at some point, because it seems I've been playing it with a controller. I was talking to Caden, who's playing it, and he says it controls great with a keyboard and mouse, but I feel like for that sort of game, I just want a controller.
Yeah.
Well, the way you described the dual stick setup seems like it would make most sense for it to be played with a controller.
Yeah, I think so. But so I'm really enjoying it so far.
I like those when a game is made by a smaller group like that. It comes out when they feel it's done, not when someone demands that it comes out, which is getting rarer in the gaming community. And now everybody's got a deadline; they just want to get it out. But this is kind of one of those things where Steam, the independent developers on Steam, still have a very strong voice, and it's nice that they can get their game out there.
I agree. I think the downside of that model, of course, is that this very small team is all developers, and none of them are marketers. And so I worry about games like this that are really wonderful. They're these beautifully crafted experiences, and they're great games, but they are entirely reliant on other people to get them
Word
out
of
there.
mouth,
It's
kinda
and word of mouth
Undertale
has
style.
always been word of mouth's always been very, very important, but it's not reliable. It's not something you can guarantee. It's like It's like when everyone's like, we'll just go viral. Yeah, you can't make that
can't do
happen.
that,
You
yeah.
can't predict what people
Well,
are going to pick up on.
There is, a reason publishers exist, and there is a value in a service that they provide, and some of that is marketing muscle and marketing know-how and knowing how to properly promote a game like this.
And
Yeah.
making the credits longer.
Making the credits long. And the startup screen, adding another graphic that pops up there.
So I hope that this one picks up. I feel like all the people I've heard of who've played it so far have really enjoyed it in a similar way, and I hope that it gets passed on. I guess I'd like it to be a success because I feel like games like this are very important for us as an industry, especially because everyone's getting upset about annualization and publishers who are just in it for the money, and this is the exact opposite of that. And if gamers want to reward that kind of behavior, then they need, those games need to sell. Otherwise, it just shows those indie developers that those pure labors of love on their own terms are not a legitimate option for them to keep doing what they
You
do.
need to speak with your wallet.
Right.
So go pre-post order Owlboy Deluxe Edition today with a special Owlboy figurine.
We only have a few minutes left, probably like 3 or 4 minutes. And one of the things I wanted to mention was that the PS4 Pro comes out this week. I think it's supposed to be tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
If it's something you're thinking about going to the store and getting, go check Target. I went to our Target right here down the road. It's already on the shelf.
What, really?
Yeah, it was just out
That's
there. I was like,
weird.
So I don't know if there's
Can
like that at all Targets, but the one by our studio, it was just there.
Maybe they can't sell them yet. Maybe it's like
It had the price on it and everything.
That would be weird though. If you're like, hey, I want to buy that. Like, nah, you can't have it.
Nah.
Come back tomorrow.
But
No.
I had an interesting. I was doing a little eavesdropping while I was there, and I
Oh.
eavesdropped an
You
interesting
sleuthing?
conversation.
You sneaking?
So I was looking at it, right? It was in the case. It's locked, obviously. So there's the PS4 Pro and an Xbox One S. They're right next to each other. Like, oh, PS4 Pro, didn't expect that. And then around it, in another case, was the regular PS4. And regular PS4 is what, $299? And it was the PS4 Slim. So like the Uncharted edition. It's got like the Uncharted 4 bundled in with it. And this guy was talking to an employee, and I guess he wanted to buy a PlayStation. He's like, yeah, I want to buy a PlayStation. And he looked at them, and he saw that Uncharted was packed in with it. And he's like, I don't want that game. Can I just buy the console? And she was like, oh, no, that's the way they all come. They're all bundles. He's like, well, yeah, but I don't want that game. Can't I buy just the console? It's like, who's this guy? Like, he's really upset that there's a free game bundled in there.
Probably because he doesn't see it as a free game. He sees it as, I would be paying less for this console if I didn't have to, if the game wasn't in it as well. That's I'm
Maybe.
guessing. I'm just trying to channel my person who wouldn't want a bundle, and that's probably the reasoning behind it, is you feel like you're paying for something that you don't want.
But that's still the same price anyway. I guess if you know, but if you're looking at it from the outside, yeah, maybe you're not familiar with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like
Did the guy not direct him to the Pro right around the corner? Like, well, you can have this one over here, a little bit more, but
he was upset.
doesn't come
He was
with a
upset
game.
about the game. I wasn't sure if he was gonna want to plop down another $100 for the Pro.
Actually, did they bundle anything with the Pro?
Not
the
yet,
box
I
I
think.
saw. It was just the console.
I'm sure that's coming, but for now, because the console costs a little bit more, they may just be trying to get that out there. They may also be trying to upgrade people who already have one and who already have their own library of games.
Well, I guess there also may be nothing for them to ship with it.
What do you mean?
Well, there's no exclusives,
There's no
but there's
4K ready games.
no,
Are there?
there are a lot of games that
There's
that are doing their PS4 Pro support.
I want to say there's like 30 games
30.
at launch that are optimized for PS4 Pro.
And there's
40.
But have they updated the assets?
Let's look.
I mean, that would be a pretty sizable download. You would probably notice if your game suddenly became 4K ready in terms of upping texture sizes.
I imagine it would. Like I know, I read that I believe Gears on the Xbox One is substantially larger if you're playing 4K on the One S. I'm trying to see here if there's any differences in the size.
Oh, wait, the One S doesn't do 4K for gaming.
Maybe it's for the HDR then.
Oh, maybe, okay. Yeah, the One S just does 4K
Video
Blu-ray.
streaming.
Yeah.
God damn it! Now you got me down the rabbit hole of that. Four files, or maybe it was on the PC then.
I mean, 4K ready, as I understand it, what they're saying is, okay, maybe the resolution will increase, but that doesn't mean that the assets will get any better. And that's if you want to show the console doing what it can do, you want a 4K native game that has a lower quality option rather than a 1080 native game that's being up-res to 4K.
Yeah, well, a lot of the games that are getting the PS4 Pro support are having different options. Like, what is it? Is it Tomb Raider, I think? Eddie, you can correct me on this one potentially. Is it Tomb Raider that has 3 different PS4 Pro options? Yeah, so there'll be one that's 1080 at 60 frames a second or 4K-ish at 30 frames a second. Or I think the other one was like HDR, but it's like that might have been like 1080 but HDR. Like they have their variations. So each of the games is optimizing for PS4 Pro in a different way.
So pick the feature set that is most valuable to you and optimize the game for that.
Yes. Yeah. So not all of the games are offering multiple configurations for users to choose from. Some of them are just optimizing them the way they want to. But there are a couple of games that have multiple options that users can select from. Like, how do you want us to use all your extra power?
Yeah. Pick your option. Here's a screenshot. Here's a screenshot. Here's a screenshot. Point at the one you like best.
Are you going to get a PS4 Pro?
Not until I have a real compelling reason to. We'll probably get one at the office just to see if there's anything useful to do on it, or if we.
I know we can get one right now.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, with what we do. How do I record that? We don't have a Black Magic, which is the only capture card that I know of off the top of my head that'll do 4K capture. Elgato only does 1080, and it only passes through at 1080. So if we even run it into the Elgato, it's not coming out at 4K, and we don't have a 4K TV. So it's really limiting in our line of work. If we could capture at 4K, we could upload to YouTube at 4K, but most of our audience wouldn't be able to play it because of either bandwidth or just having a screen to watch it on.
Yeah, I think I'll get one eventually, but I've got a PS4 at the moment that's still working for me, and I don't have a pressing reason to upgrade.
Yeah.
But maybe like once some more games are out, and there are games that are built to really take advantage of it, not done in post, as it were, I'll probably re-examine that. How about you, Gus?
Yeah, I don't have a 4K TV, so I'm not going to yet. So once I get a 4K TV, I might, but for now, no. And I've read that it does help with some PSVR games. It'll
wondered about that.
What is it called? Super sampling?
sample.
Yeah, when it renders more lines than are necessary and then shrinks it back down. So I mean, I think specifically Battlezone does. I think Battlezone it's rendering like 1,500 lines instead of 1080, so that it looks a little nicer.
That's cool. We should probably kick you out of here, Ryan.
We need to wrap up.
Yeah. Well,
you gotta go stream.
I'm not going to the stream today. I'm going to pick up the kids today. So
all right.
Still got to go. But
we should still send you because the kids need the picking up.
They also need a father. Yes.
All right. Well, if you are a Rooster Teeth First member, we'll have the patch post show. It will be posted to the website the day that the patch is posted publicly for everyone. So you'll be able to check that out, get a little bit more patch in your week. Otherwise, thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.